Yeah. Lock it back up again. Yeah. Alright, okay, Porthos the dog in space.
Yay!
Okay. Captain Janeway loved Chakotay. Captain Sisko loved his boy. Captain Kirk loved a ship. Captain Archer loved his dog Porthos. Porthos, the dog in space. The dog in space. The dog in space. Porthos, the dog in space. The dog in space. The dog in space. Floating, floating, floating. I bark, therefore I am trying to catch that stick that I never can. Captain Kirk would have told Porthos to go away. Mr. Spock would have done a mind meld to see what Porthos wanted to eat today, and the story behind that is that they had cooks on the Enterprise. And they never showed the cooks. That would have been awesome. Like a cook going on an adventure to a planet. Would have been so great. Yeah.
If you only show up for once in the episode, you get killed.
Well, then they would have to make their own food. Yeah. So, all right.
I thought they had those things where they just say what they want. Is
Yeah,
that
that's
only
later.
That's
Later.
later.
This is
I want green tea with mint. Woo! There it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Captain Archer. We had to rough it. So, all right, Dr. McCoy would have told Porthos, would have used Porthos to test the transporter. Porthos did all his greatest adventures. Captain Archer did his greatest adventures with his dog Border. Porthos, the dog in space, the dog in space, the dog in space. Porthos, the dog in space, the dog in space, the dog in space. Maybe in space, Porthos will meet Snoopy because he was kind of the first space beagle. Captain Archer wasn't the first to go on to travel, explore with a beagle. Charles Darwin explored on the HMS Beagle. His writers are pretty clever. Yeah. Porthos, the dog in space, the dog in space, the dog in space. Porthos, the dog in space, the dog in space, the dog in space. Floating, floating, floating. I bark, therefore I am trying to catch that stick that I never can.